know.
Hey guys, welcome to Lunch Attack. I'm here with Shuli and Katie again. Today we're talking about hobbies, talking about all sorts of hobbies, unique things. Let's pray really quick before we start. Dear God, thank you for this food, for this day, and we just pray for an awesome day where we can just have an awesome time of lunch together. Amen.
Amen.
So first off, what have you prepared for us today, Katie?
Well, today we're doing kind of a brunch or breakfast for lunch. Sometimes I really love doing breakfast for dinner. So we have pancakes and sausages with butter and syrup, Or I made a homemade blueberry coulis.
Amazing.
So there's like a blueberry sauce that you can put on your pancakes as well. Blueberry pancakes are actually my favorite pancakes.
Nice.
So that's why we've got some blueberry going on here. You can also put chocolate chips in your pancakes. Some people like bananas on their pancakes.
Yeah, I have bananas right here.
Lovely.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually love syrup on sausages, so that's why sausages are like the natural choice with pancakes for me.
Like with everything sweet, I forgot to put the butter.
Just put a lump on top.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat what some of your favorite hobbies are as we dive in here.
Yeah. Or what do you think of brunch?
Yeah.
What do you like on your pancakes?
Best.
Agreed. Brunch is my
Brunch is
favorite
so
meal of the
good.
day.
My favorite brunch though that Katie and I go for sometimes is dim sum. I love dim sum for brunch.
Yes.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Dim sum is so good.
Dim sum for brunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds delicious actually.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the other day how I do miss dim sum.
It's
we can't
unique,
go out.
right? It's this unique sort of experience.
Yeah. No, because it's a sit-in experience. It's not
It's not the type of thing you can really take out, or maybe you can make it at home. I don't know.
You can, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to get the whole experience at home because there's like all sorts of little like platters. So it's hard to make like that many little things for brunch.
Yeah, and part of the fun is knowing what's going to come out when.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually a hobby of ours, going for dim sum.
Pretty
No,
much.
but honestly, like finding like unique places to eat is pretty cool. Like I would love to do that
Oh
more.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So I put butter on my pancake, right? And I have bananas in my pancake. And I totally thought this like piece of butter was a banana, and I almost ate it like a whole.
That was close.
That's hilarious.
It's the same color. Oh my gosh.
I think for me, over the last like 2 years, cooking has definitely probably become like a lot more of a hobby for me.
Nice.
I love like cooking. I love like learning new things. I love it's fun. It's fun to cook and to make things sort of look nice and like to make things kind of special when I can.
I love that hobby of yours too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
People around me.
I know, we benefit from it.
Yeah.
True. What's one of your favorite things to cook?
I like cooking beef a lot, like a roast. Like I think part of it is like the preparation's kind of simple, but also watching it sort of materialize, and like the smells and like the sound of like the sizzling beef. It's just so good, and then everything around it is like so good. Like it goes well with pretty much everything, and it's like a nice thing to like be able to host. Like if you're hosting like a group of people, roast is just like always a favorite. Like you can't go wrong. Like no one's like, at least like from what I know, no one's gonna like hate it. So roast is super.
Unless
awesome.
they're vegetarian.
Yeah. Well then they can eat the potatoes.
They can eat their potatoes, which are just as good.
Right. Yeah.
And you like to see your food change color, right?
Yes.
Something
I
you
think
told me before.
Yeah. What I love is like, especially if I'm like in a pan frying, like to watch the meat change color is really fun and exciting. But I think with roast, what's also interesting is it's fun playing that game of like the meat thermometer and like how cooked it is. Because it's like, it's like a challenge, right? You want to get it like medium rare or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's got to be like a particular internal temperature.
Yeah.
But if you overcook it, then you can't
can't
make
turn
it
back
more
time.
raw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Remember,
it's just
kids,
fun.
it's all fun and games until someone gets sick.
Yeah.
To be fair, we're not playing games with whether it's cooked or not. That's not the type of game that we play.
No.
It's more so like, how do you like your beef, and can you get it rare enough without being too rare and still cooked enough for everybody else's tastes as well. Yeah, it is.
Well, it's
fun.
definitely fun. It's fun. It's fun to go to the grocery store, like look for deals and like look for like what to make, stuff like that. So
yeah,
I love cooking. Yeah. Do you guys have a hobby you want to share? Or actually, I had a question before that. Sorry. I think it might be cool to dive into before we share some of our favorite hobbies.
Okay.
Did you have any hobbies like childhood hobbies that you did as a kid, but like maybe you don't do now, or like maybe you still do now, like hobbies as a kid?
Yeah. I actually have like a very odd one.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, I used to as a kid. All right. I used to cross stitch.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
As a kid.
Yeah,
that's so cool,
expect
dude.
that of me.
Way to go.
But yeah, I used to cross stitch as a kid. That used to be a hobby of mine. Yeah, I think we have an home ec class when I was in like grade 6 or something, and they taught us how to cross stitch, and I kind of got into it.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was great. I enjoyed doing it. It was relaxing.
Totally.
Yeah. So, fun fact about me: I used to cross stitch as a hobby.
But you don't anymore?
No, not anymore.
Why?
Actually, I don't even remember how to do it, to be honest.
Oh.
But
Maybe
I
something
don't
you
know,
can dive
I kinda
into.
just stopped. Yeah.
Did you ever make anything like?
Yeah, no, I used to like follow. They have like these things that you can buy, and like you can follow it. You know, like I remember making like a house. Yeah, like a house with like a garden and
that's cool.
yeah, all the different colors and yeah, no, it was great. It was awesome. Yeah, so. Yeah. Hit me up for all your cross stitching needs.
Cross stitching needs.
Awesome. We'll put in
Just
some
start
orders.
cross stitching some masks for the for the grocery store.
Yeah, I don't know how effective that is, but yeah.
That's very ineffective because there's holes in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll cross stitch you a mask. Yeah, but no, I used to
For,
cross stitch
for decorative purposes only.
Yeah. That was great. It was smart. Maybe we
That's
should
awesome.
try to do it again.
Katie, do you have any childhood hobbies?
Yeah, totally. So I grew up with 2 younger siblings, Hannah and Luke.
Yep.
And we used to film videos of ourselves.
Nice.
Doing different, like we would make movies basically. We would do this with our cousins in the summer, and then also sometimes just by ourselves. Like, I remember one winter we made a movie about climbing Mount Everest because we had this giant pile of snow that the snowplow had left at the end of our court. Like we lived on a court at one point, and the snowplow would bring like all the snow from the neighborhood and like bring it into the court. And so my sister, no phones, right? Like we didn't have phones as kids. But we had like those, I think one of us got a digital camera
Or like a
for the first
camcorder
time.
or something?
Yeah, it was actually just like a regular old digital camera.
Cool, yeah.
And my sister would like try to get the angle right so that it didn't look like we were like 3 feet from the ground, the pavement. That I was like climbing Mount Everest. And we would take all these shots on the snowbank.
That's awesome.
On location.
Wow.
So how did you edit it together?
I don't know, Hannah always did that. That was her
Okay,
job.
okay.
Hannah was like the video editor. And
Okay.
she had
Oh,
some
cool.
sort of a program, like even as a kid.
How?
I don't know.
For
She
what?
had some sort of computer program that she would like take these shots of us. Like we would all like sort of, I guess, develop some sort of a script. She was the videographer.
It was probably like the Microsoft Paint of video editing.
Yeah, probably. But I remember one of the characters in the Everest video was named Mortensen.
Mortensen. That's amazing.
And I think he died during the ascent or something. So like at the end in the credits, it was like this video is dedicated to Mortensen.
Amazing.
And actually, like we're clever kids, right? Like mort in French is death. So
Oh.
mort. But anyways, yeah, it's just like
Really?
it was. There was some foreshadowing in these videos,
Really?
Oh, yeah,
in these children's videos.
Foreshadowing at 4.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's why that's why Katie has a PhD now.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Your siblings are brilliant. That's hilarious.
That's amazing.
Yeah, let us know in chat what some of your early childhood hobbies are.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
One of mine was fishing.
Right.
I used to do a lot of fishing with my dad actually. We would like drive around early in the morning, like on a Saturday at like 7 a.m., 7:30. We'd drive out to like Belleville or drive out to like other locations just so we could hit like sort of like the sunrise before the fish came up.
Yeah.
I used to love fishing with my dad. That's something that we did a lot. Like that was kind of like a hobby for us. And then when I got older, and then I stopped for a while. My dad kind of got busy and we stopped going. But as I got older, I actually got back into it a little bit. Yeah, I used to sort of ride around my bike with a fishing pole attached to my bag and try to go to like local Toronto like fishing spots.
Really?
Which like never had any fish. It was always really hard.
Did
to
you
get.
ever catch anything?
Like in Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In like the local fishing spots.
Yeah. Hilarious story. I was there with Matt actually at Port Union, and there's this big waterway, and he caught this catfish. That was about this big.
What?
And it was really the hook was really stuck in the fish, like the lure. So we tried really hard to get it out, and it wouldn't come out. And in our efforts of getting it out, which we obviously eventually got out, right? Because Matt doesn't have the fish, you know. One of the barbs in the wire got stuck in Matt's thumb.
Oh no!
The hooks, and we actually.
I'm pretty sure I remember that.
We actually couldn't get out. We couldn't get out of his thumb, and we had to go to Emerge. And in Emerge, you know, there's some anesthetic and like a scalpel, and they pulled it out, but we couldn't get it out ourselves. This big ordeal. All while when we show up to Emerge, the nurse who's doing intake was like, "Okay, get your driver's license or your ID," right? So Matt gave her his ID, and she's like, and she's looking at it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She's like, "Oh, happy birthday," because it happened on his birthday.
Oh no!
Yeah, he got shipped to Emerge on his birthday. It was hilarious.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
fishing. Yeah, I like fishing a lot.
There we go.
I want to get back into it when we move up to
Never
BC.
fish on your birthday.
My biggest question though of that story is what happened to the fish? When you went to Emerge.
We eventually got it out. Yeah, we eventually got it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like you took the fish with you?
No. So the barb, we got.
No,
the fish
I
out,
know. But like, what happened to the fish?
Oh, we threw it back in. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not gonna eat the fish.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially in Lake
I think what I
Ontario.
want to know is the fish mortison?
but Matt had the barb in his hand the entire time,
Yeah.
like on the way to the
Mystery
hospital.
continues.
Yeah.
Wild.
Demons.
Morrison.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Matt still have the wire, the barbed wire?
Yeah, we have the lure
You
The-
do?
You guys have it?
Mhm.
Nice.
You put it in a jar or something?
in my basement. That's why there's the rainbow lure.
Oh my gosh.
Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, I'll show you
There
one.
we go.
Day.
The rainbow lure.
The things you learn are in someone's basement.
They were like, "Do you want to get rid of it?" And we're like, "We kind of want to keep that."
Yeah. Why not? Right?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. It's
It's
another.
memory.
It's a memory in the bank.
it is a memory.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so cool.
Welcome to those who are tuning in. We have pancakes and sausages that Katie made. We're talking about hobbies today. Let us know what your favorite hobbies are or your childhood hobbies in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get right to you. You guys have any other childhood hobbies?
Childhood hobbies.
Bike riding? Like we would also, in the same court, so same court, summer now, not winter, we would make chalk roads, like sidewalk chalk, and draw roads all along the
Oh,
court
wow.
with like rules, right? Like stop signs and
Nice.
crosswalks and
Yeah.
like other things. So then we would ride our bikes along the road
Oh,
and
interesting.
like be following the rules. So you'd have to stop at a stop sign,
Oh,
like
okay.
look all the ways. Like it was kind of like we were on cars, but we were actually on
Right.
bikes.
That's cute.
And around the neighborhood too.
Yeah.
But like
Mm.
that was something I remember really enjoying, like making those roads.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think for me, I used to live in. So my dad came from a family of 13.
Wow.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and I grew up in the house that they kind of grew up in, right? And so there were a lot of kind of like stuff that was kind of left behind, you know, from siblings, from his siblings, or from like other people in the past, right? So at this point in time, we're living there with my parents, my grandmother, my grandfather in this house, and I found these old rollerblades that were too big for me.
Oh.
Yeah, but I thought they were so cool, right? I remember they were kind of like blue-green, and so I tried learning how to rollerblade. Yeah, and it kind of became this hobby of mine for a bit when I was a kid to learn and eventually actually start rollerblading. But these things were so big that they would hurt my legs, right? Because it's made out of like plastic, right? And I didn't have socks big enough to like, I guess protect my leg. Yeah, so I would like be done and like my legs would be all sore
Oh,
and like
no.
be red. Yeah, but no, it was fun. It was great. That's how I learned how to rollerblade. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then I guess growing up that transitioned into skateboarding. So, yeah.
Do you want to talk about skateboarding?
Let's talk about it a bit. Like,
Alright.
let's hear another hobby of yours,
Alright.
Benson.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other childhood hobbies?
Yeah, I think As a child, let's see. Oh, okay. It's kind of a weird hobby. Didn't get to do too much, but I'm gonna claim it as a hobby because it's something I enjoy doing a lot. When I was younger, my parents would go to work, and in the summers, when you don't have school, right, I would be at home alone, you know. But, you know, I was younger, but they didn't want me to be home alone, so I actually moved to my grandparents' house, sort of over the summer, or they would drop me off, pick me up type thing during the day. And I'd watch all these, like, Chinese shows with my grandmother. And in one of them, it was this ridiculous, it was a movie actually, one of these ridiculous movies that had people playing like Mahjong.
Oh yeah.
Like 4-player Mahjong, right? And I was like so interested in the rules.
Yeah.
And how it happened. So I was talking to my grandmother about it, trying to get her to explain to me. And she ended up explaining the rules to me. And she actually pulled out, she found like this, in their basement, this old Mahjong set. And my grandmother and I would play every so often.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty cool game.
I didn't so you know how to play Mahjong?
Yeah, loosely. Yeah, I know the rules.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've always, my, I guess my grandmother used to play,
Super fun.
Yeah, my grandmother used to play Mahjong as well. And, like, she would, like, invite her friends. Yeah, and I remember like watching them, but never actually knowing what they're doing. I just saw like these like little tiles with like little intricate drawings, and I'm like, oh, they look so cool. I want to learn, but I never did. So
yeah, I've never seen a physical board.
Yeah,
I've only ever played on the computer.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's really fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's all like matching symbols.
Yeah. So I'm actually here saying, hey, Ben and I are having lunch with you
Yo,
guys.
Oh, hey guys!
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hey. Welcome to Lunch Attack. This is what we do 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Let us know what some of your favorite hobbies are. I know that Ashley's husband Ben, he said that his hobby is teaching yourself new skills.
That doesn't surprise me at all, knowing Ben.
Yeah, he says, I'm in constant search of unique things I can master, like being able to whistle with both fingers, making those origami towel swans that fancy hotels have, perfecting my recursive writing, strength of my non-dominant hand. He said, haha, why not learn weird stuff? Amazing.
Very amazing.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, no, learning weird things are actually, that sounds so, like, awesome.
Right?
Yeah, just being able to, like, and then by the end of it, you have all these, like, random skills that
And you
can,
never
like,
know when you might need them.
Exactly.
It's like, help, my dog is stuck in the well. I need someone who can whistle with both fingers in their mouth really loudly to get them out.
I prepared my entire life for this moment.
This is the moment.
Can you guys whistle?
Where it's like,
can you guys whistle?
I couldn't whistle till I was
can
about,
whistle, but not like with like this.
Yeah.
Like not like what he's saying.
Yeah.
I couldn't whistle or like snap my fingers till I was like about 20 years old.
No way.
Yeah, until I actually like sat down and tried to learn it.
I can do like that.
That's like a reverse whistle.
Yeah. I don't.
Oh,
Whoa.
interesting.
Well, there's a new skill for
Oh,
Ben
yeah.
to learn how to
Oh,
whistle
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. You can like pull your. Yeah. That's there we go.
That is something.
That used to be a hobby. Me trying to like learn how to do that during my free time. Yeah.
I think so a lot of my hobbies, even now, like maybe moving away from childhood a little bit,
Oh,
although I
okay.
guess some of them were artsy in childhood, but like a lot of them are kind of more artsy.
Yeah.
So they're like things that are kind of out and around here. So I like to knit, and I kind of taught myself how to knit. Like I remember, actually Ashley, who's on the chat, she like showed me a few basic stitches, and then I was just like, oh, I wonder, and I would encounter new things in different patterns and be like, oh, how do you do this like slip knit? Or how do you cable? And then I would look it up on YouTube and figure it out. And like now this is a baby blanket I've been working on for way too long because the baby's gonna grow up before I even give it to them. But there's a cable in this blanket, and this is my little cute cat like knitting ruler. And anyways, I love doing baby blankets and hats. I think those are like a couple of my favorite things to knit. I think maybe I started with a dishcloth. That's pretty simple if you're looking to start somewhere. It's not as hard as you might think, and it's similar to cross stitching. It's like relaxing. It's something you can do with like I don't know, something else on in the background, or while like listening to music, or listening to the Bible app, or like TV or whatever. So
that's awesome.
Cool. Ashley says, I was gonna say that I taught you to knit, and then I think she means and then you far surpassed me.
She's told me that before. She's like, I taught you, and then you surpassed me. I don't know if Ashley knits that much anymore, but fair enough. She has a new like 2-month-old at home, so I think she's got other things to do. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, like playing guitar was also something that I kind of like taught myself.
Sweet, yeah.
Yeah, when I was a lot older, like I was probably about, I think 20 years old, 20 years old when I first started like trying to learn how to play guitar like by myself. Like someone taught me some like basics, but then I kind of like went on YouTube and like learned a couple things and kept playing. Yeah, it's super fun. Super fun hobby. You know, I play in church and and I write some music, but apart from that, it's super fun to especially like for some people, my buddy Marty and I particularly, as you sort of delve into the guitar world, it's a deep hole of like once you start looking at like different gear, and different guitars, and then different amps, and different like pedals. So like one thing is that like my buddy Marty and I and my buddy Ethan and I and Adam, we talk like gear, like we talk like different like, oh, I just got this amp, or this pedal is so cool, like it's so cool to try out. It's kind of fun to like, and then sometimes we swap, right? And
No, that's awesome. I can totally understand that because I am kind of like that, but with tech.
With tech?
Yeah, playing around with different tech. Yeah, I have a bunch of different headphones. I have a bunch of different keyboards.
You spray painted your one keyboard.
Yes, I spray painted my.
How does it look? How did it turn out?
Right here. Look at that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. It's baby blue with white keycaps. Yeah, it's a great mechanical keyboard. You can hear that. So, and it lights up when it's plugged in.
That's really pretty. It turned out really nice.
Oh, so I love doing that. I look at different headphones all the time. Yeah. I'm using my number 2s because my number 1s broke. So I'm in the market for my new number 1s. Do you have any suggestions for an awesome headphone? Let me know. But yeah, no, I think it's something that I enjoy doing, especially like sometimes even taking apart my electronics.
Do you like the sort of physical, aspect of it? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. No, I love how like figuring out how things work. So what's making the clicking, right? What's the sound when this happens, or
what's the mechanism behind how this all comes together?
Great.
That's cool.
I feel like if I tried to take something apart, it would never go back together again the same way.
I had that experience once.
I would never figure out how to get it back together.
I had this phone that like dropped in water, and I was kind of trying to fix it for a while.
Oh jeez.
And it was kind of fun, but then it's like once you take it apart, it's like that fear of like, oh, is it gonna work if I put it back together again? Am I gonna lose a piece? Like, am I gonna like push the wrong thing or unplug something and it not work? But super fun to like kind of tinker with, But no, I watched you like tinker with a lot of tech stuff. That sounds super fun, and you're good at it too. So
yeah, bonus. Like when you put stuff back together that actually works.
Yeah.
True.
Well, sometimes I break things.
We all do.
There are times when I'm like, oh, well, this is. But usually that's when things are broken already.
Okay, yeah.
And you're trying to fix it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to fix it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh well, it's broken.
There you
now.
go. There you go. Cool. Do you have another hobby, Katie?
Sure
you want
do.
to share with us?
It's right down here. So, this is a hobby that my mom and I, and sometimes like my brother will sit in and help a little bit, but we do this every Christmas. So we almost always get a new puzzle. And we work on a puzzle basically all throughout the Christmas holidays, like after Christmas Day. So we'll open up the puzzle, and it's always a 1,000-piece puzzle. And so actually Ashley, who's on the chat, and I were having this conversation last week or sometime, and she was like, Ben and I did a puzzle, and like we really enjoyed it. But then Ben went to Walmart and couldn't find any.
Oh no!
Like apparently puzzles are the new toilet paper.
Apparently.
they wanted kind of a smaller one because they have cats who could get into it. But anyways, so I went to the Toronto Walmart and actually was able to find this really cool 1,000-piece puzzle that I haven't started yet, but I'm thinking about starting to sort today. It's actually the Justice League.
Yeah.
So you've got you got your Batman, you've got like some of the villains are on there, like the Joker and Superman. That's Aquaman, right?
Yeah.
Like that's their representation of Aquaman, yeah. So he doesn't quite look like the Aquaman in the movie. So anyways, but he's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this puzzle started. Sometimes they can be frustrating, but like when you're having a really hard time or all of the pieces look the same, you can't find like that one you need. Or if you get to the very end of a puzzle and realize that you've lost a piece somehow.
Oh no.
That's like the worst.
That's happened before?
Absolutely.
Oh.
It's like, like this piece just isn't here. And then you start scouring and you look and you like sweep the floor and check the garbage and like, anyways, it's definitely happened to us before.
It's like no puzzle should ever go like unfinished.
True. I know.
It's sad.
So
sad.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of setting this one up on like a piece of cardboard that I can move around and have in my space, because it's like kind of I think right now some things that are helpful hobby-wise for me are like ones that have like an achievable goal,
for sure.
Right? It's like, okay, I can finish something, or I can like kind of work towards something that has like a set end. And I think some of that might be because there's just so much uncertainty, right? That like having something like a puzzle where it's like, okay, I can like work on this and there'll be like this sense of completion is really appealing to me right now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think in high school. I started skateboarding. Yeah, and that's kind of become like a hobby that's just been following me throughout my life. And like it's great to see like this, because when I first started, I was really big into like doing tricks and stuff like that, and learning different just learning how to do all the different tricks, how to kickflip, how to ollie, how to do a shove it and all that stuff. But now I kind of just enjoy cruising and just like, just riding my board and I think I actually I wrote it down during morning brew. Like I use that time to like pray. Yeah. For me, like it's a cool hobby where I can also just engage with God and pray. So I think that's been it's been good for me. Yeah, I enjoy that a lot.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have you ever thought about getting like are you like I want to have like 5 different skateboards, like a longboard and a penny board and a cruiser and like a board for tricks, or are you like a one?
No, I just
one at a time.
Yeah, one at a time. It's not like electronics where I'm like, I want all these different things. No, for this one, it's just like I want this one board, and I think I enjoy kind of getting used to the feel of the board, right? And really understanding that. Yeah. Also, Lena, hello. What's up? Yeah, we're just
hey.
We're just
Lena has some fun skateboarding stories.
Yeah.
Welcome to Lunch Attack.
Hey, sorry, you came in at the perfect time. We're talking about skateboarding.
Yeah, we're talking about skateboarding. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, talking about like how the one day I show up. That's so funny.
Oh jeez.
Talking about how I use skateboarding, and it's a hobby of mine, but I also use it as a way to spend time with God. And so it's been great. Yeah, so I really enjoy doing that.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Do you have another hobby?
Yeah, one of my hobbies, actually this is actually totally a childhood hobby that I completely like
That's cool.
that I've started recently getting back into. Would be classified as wargaming. So what's it called? Particularly with minis or miniatures.
Oh.
So I have some here that I brought.
Yes.
So for example, we'll take this guy, right? So he's like a figurine, and you have like an army of them, and you place an opponent or a couple who have like an army of them, and there's rules and stuff, to how to engage and make sure the game's fair.
Yeah.
These mock battles, there's all sorts from like historic battles like that took place in history to like science fiction ones with space or like with big ships and things like that. But what's really cool about this particular hobby is these minis, they don't come pre-painted. and you actually have to assemble them. So you actually have to like take time to like cut the pieces out and like glue them together, and hours of like super glue getting on your hands, and then and then after that you have to like prime them and then take time to paint them.
Jeez.
And
it's pretty epic.
It's pretty intensive.
Yeah.
But then once you have them painted, it's this beautiful thing because it's like this toy pretty much that you created.
Yeah.
You can use whatever colors you want, right? And there's unique things about them, right? And then you watch as your sort of army, as you sort of like make more and more, it kind of assembles, and it's like your personal army that you kind of play other people at. So that's super fun. I did it a lot as a kid, and actually recently in the last like 2-3 years, I started getting back into it a little bit. This is like a convention I go to in May. They just canceled it, called Hot Lead, that my buddy Bob and I go to. That's super fun, where there's all sorts of different games that you can play and stuff, and you can bring your armies or you can use other people's models and learn new games. And it's super fun. Like I played like a Halo game once, but it was like in space, so it was with like Halo ships.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And I played this like really historic one that took place in like the War of 1812. And I played this one that was like that took place. That was the Lord of the Rings one actually. That took place like this Lord of the Rings battle with like heroes and like the orcs and stuff like that. So wargaming was like something really fun that I did as a kid. Like started doing as a kid, and now kind of as an adult, I've kind of rediscovered wargaming.
It's actually incredible. It's something that we do together. So we have a set, like a bunch of sets now of Lord of the Rings characters. So some darkness, some like good characters, and we've been painting them and have the rules books and everything, and we play sometimes. I'm always like the good characters. And Benson always plays like a gaggle of orcs and a Nazgul. We have a Nazgul, we have a cave troll.
That's so cool.
It's so, again, it's like so satisfying, and it's a fun blend of like you enjoy games like that, and you enjoy the creative side too, but I enjoy especially the creative side of like painting them and making them. So it's a really cool thing we can do together. That you introduced me to. Yeah, I love it.
It's super artsy, but also super like practical, and like you roll dice and you move minis, and it's super fun.
Yeah. No, I think with those type of games and hobbies, I really enjoy like just seeing other people's like miniatures.
Yeah.
And especially when you have like a lot of them on a board. Yeah, or like a table. It's so cool to see.
Or I actually like low key like follow a lot of sort of like professionals who like paint the minis like professionally.
They're beautiful.
And like their works of art, it's insane like how lifelike or how beautiful like some of these minis are. Right, and that inspires you to like kind of get better. I remember as a kid, like I used to only care about getting the miniatures like on the table, so I'd paint them like as basic as possible, like just slap on a bunch of paint, took no time and care. Yeah. But now when I'm older, like it's like, oh, I want to like make sure I still have a little bit of that, especially if it's like miniatures that aren't as like important. So for example, I play evil, right? Katie plays good a lot. So I'm just like, hey, the more orcs I can paint, the more orcs I get on the board, right? While Katie's like, oh, I'm gonna spend like, so many hours to paint like Aragorn perfectly, right? And yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, if Aragorn's not perfect, then the world is pretty much lost. You gotta get him right.
Yeah. For sure.
That's a really good one.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Maybe one day, when this is when it's all back to normal, maybe we'll bring, we'll show you how to play.
Yeah.
It's fun.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's super fun. Yeah. There's all RNG in it.
I like it. RNG. Oh, well then.
There you
well
go.
Then.
Yeah.
Well then.
What does that mean?
It's like randomness.
Yeah, random.
Shuli just is apparently really good at random games. Yeah.
So that's why I never gamble. Yeah, I'll probably believe in my luck too much, and it would be bad for me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But also, it's weird. I've never had the desire to though.
Right.
Also, yeah. I remember there was this a point in my life where I really got into scratch cards, right? But the only reason why wasn't even because I enjoyed it. It was because I liked this girl who enjoyed scratch cards.
So you would just buy them and then
so I would
she
just
would
buy them,
scratch
I'd
them?
be like, yeah. I was like,
It's
oh.
like, we could do this together.
Yeah, exactly. Let me.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But I was like, but like, so like, I don't like, I've never bought a scratch card in like 10 years.
Right, like
It's like,
Microsoft.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Weird.
yeah,
That's funny.
I know.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, our friend Ben McMillan, who's married to Ashley, they're watching right now, says that he says knitting is the bomb. Katie got me into it, and then I got volunteering with a retirement home ladies group.
I love it.
knitting.
I know, I love
And
it.
he says he has a friend who collects keyboards and went to keyboard conventions. He found a keyboard key once that had a 3D octopus on it.
That's
Nice,
insane.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So
I know. I
cool.
wanna buy
That's-
some like awesome keycaps. Yeah, 'cause
Very
you
cool.
can buy like keycaps, right? And you can just change them. So like you can turn like I can literally like get an awesome keycap for my escape key.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
That'd be really interesting to get like custom design ones
Yeah.
or things like that.
I never knew that there was so much that you could do with keyboards. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, it is like pretty artistic also.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. You have another hobby for us here, Shuli?
yeah. I play video games a lot, right? But another a hobby actually is following video game news.
Oh.
Yeah, in
okay.
journalism. Yeah,
Cool.
I am like big at I listen to like all these different podcasts about video games, right? I constantly look up articles. I follow stuff on Reddit in terms of like gaming news
Yeah.
and leaks and like even first impressions of the media. Right, when a game is coming out and stuff like that, I enjoy that. And I love like even like hearing about not like so the Sony Microsoft battle, right?
Oh, no.
There's the fanboy side, but then there's the actual, like what's actually happening, what's Sony doing, what's Microsoft doing, right? And how do the fans kind of perceive that? And it's very, very interesting, and I love talking about it. I enjoy listening on other people's perspectives, right? And yeah, it's awesome. Like I can talk about this all day. Yeah, and like get into like the minute details, just because I find it fascinating. Yeah, so I think that's one other hobby that I do, and like I know some random things about a lot of things in terms of like in the video gaming world.
Yeah,
Because of it.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. I love that you follow that. Is there like one particular place or a person or a source that you like love going to? That's your like go-to place? Like is it just Reddit, like the forums?
Reddit, yeah, but I as like a personality, I
Yeah.
like Colin Moriarty.
Okay,
Yeah,
Colin Moriarty.
yes, yeah, he used to work for IGN.
Oh.
And used to be in charge of the PlayStation podcast, right? And then he broke off from that to do his own thing, and then he broke off on that other thing to do his own thing. So now he's doing like another PlayStation podcast with
Okay, cool.
another dude, but he's good because he's well researched,
Nice.
right? Yeah, he's well researched. He knows his stuff, and the way he shares information, right, is very pretty unbiased. Sometimes he can be a bit biased, but he's pretty unbiased in terms of
Cool.
of what he thinks. So yeah, I like
Sweet. Video game
I like the dude.
news
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
You got
That's
another
another
hobby
new
for us?
world. That's another new world for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was this epic battle going on between
Oh,
Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So they each bring their minis to the table.
Yeah. Except one's an
Exactly.
Xbox and one's a PlayStation.
They
Yeah.
bring their little miniature Xbox and PlayStation and like
Yeah.
duel it out.
That actually would be really cool. Okay, imagine if they made a MOBA.
Mm.
So MOBA is like a game where it's like there's like two bases and like heroes that have to fight and like destroy the other base. One MOBA is like a PlayStation, and one MOBA is like one base is like an Xbox.
Yeah.
And then you just have like the Xbox exclusives versus the PlayStation exclusives. It's brilliant.
That'd be fun.
$1 million idea.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Hey,
Yeah.
you
There
heard
we
it
go.
first here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Copyright Agincourt Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag lunch attack.
That's right. 2020, the year of all innovation.
Yes.
When we were all stuck inside. one of the latest ones that I was thinking about, and I'm starting to think about again, is gardening, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we're getting close to that time where we could be kind of planting some little seedlings. I happen to have a really sunny space right now on the other side of the church, so I'm like thinking about, I wonder if I should get some little planters and like start some seedlings. So I did this for the first time when I lived in a second floor apartment, and there was a fire escape. And there was like a window, our living room window went out to the fire escape, and I would have like boxes, like those flower boxes of plants, and we called it my fire escape garden. So I made the garden on the fire escape, basically. Still lots
How did you come up with the name?
Because it was literally on the fire escape, believe it or not. I know, super creative.
Yeah.
But I had hanging ones, like hanging buckets, and like planters, and again, just really loved like being in the earth, watching something grow, seeing like the fruits of something that you started, taking care of it, right? Like there's a sort of nurturing of a garden space. And it's like a daily kind of thing that you sort of get in the rhythm of attending to. So I'd have like tomatoes and peppers, and I think I had strawberries at one point, and it wasn't even necessarily seeing all the crops, but it was like, I think the process of doing it, because sometimes animals get in and it's really annoying. Right. There was this giant raccoon that that would come and lumber his way up the fire escape stairs. And one day we had a standoff where I had this bar that went in our window to like protect it, like stay closed, and like I called him Fat Jimmy.
Fat Jimmy.
So because he was fat. He had grown fat off of his spoils, and like my garden was like being ravaged.
Not Fat Jimmy.
Big for his spoils.
And so Fat Jimmy and I had like a standoff where I like opened the window and like started rattling the stick, and we like made eye contact, and he like lumbered away like as fast as he could. Yeah. But
blistering.
Yeah.
That's so good. Ashley put us as Fat Jimmy. Yes.
I know, right?
Oh man, that's so good.
This is when I lived with Ashley. Right. Actually, it's hilarious. All my hobbies apparently have to do with Ashley, which is awesome because she's here today. Oh but anyways, so
that's amazing.
I remember Ashley being like, why did you do that? Thing could have like killed you. Like you could have gotten rabies. Like why would you open the window?
Leave the plants.
I remember the first time. So she had a brown cat named Frodo, and so I remember seeing Frodo looking out the window. And I thought it was his reflection at first, but it was the coon. It was the coon. It was Fat Jimmy, the raccoon. And so I was like, that is not the cat. They had a standoff like a couple of times too, which was hilarious. Terrible. But anyways, so, and then trying to find like ways to fence in gardens and things. Yeah. It can get to be a lot of work, but it is like almost that season. And I love flowers too, so I have a little backyard patch in my apartment, so I might kind of even just plant some flowers this spring or summer.
Yeah. I feel like you just want to get into gardening so that Fat Jimmy will return. You just miss the raccoon.
I do not. I'll never miss any raccoon. There's like a posse of raccoons in my neighborhood that I saw when I moved in the fall.
There's like
and so
5 of them,
I'm like a little skeptical whether or not any vegetables that I tried to plant will live, but I can probably do flowers. And see how that goes. Yeah.
How do you feel about so my parents recently in the last year of moving into a house? Well, okay. So I had an aloe plant.
There's many stories.
And then we moved into the house.
There's many versions of this story.
And they decided to start getting like an aloe plant.
Okay.
And then, a week later, I come downstairs and there's like 5 new plants. And then a week later, there's like 20 new plants. And now there's like a whole greenhouse in my living room.
It's true.
It's hilarious. And they'll move the plants to like the other side of the house.
For the sun.
And it's like
to follow the sun. They do.
These plants are walking.
Yeah, they move
what
the
plants. What if it's not your parents? What if you just, when you're not looking, these plants just like pull
like
up
Toy
their,
Story?
Go to the sun.
Oh yeah.
They start walking with their
roots. The sun's over there.
But my parents love
Yeah, they
gardening
do.
now. Like we never had a chance to live in an apartment, or we never did, but now they just love it. It's all they do. It's like their favorite hobby. Yeah.
Yeah, those plants are better taken care of than like some like
Than Fat
cats or
Jimmy.
dogs or people.
Or
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Or Fat Jimmy.
Yeah,
Or
Fat
Jimmy.
Poor Jimmy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
R.I.P. He's
Probably
probably
yeah.
he's probably
Yeah.
starving.
Matt Jimmy is no longer fat. There
Maybe
are no
not.
spoils.
I was so mad at that raccoon. Oh my gosh. It's like, you don't need this. Look at you. You don't need any more food. Go away. Like, seriously.
That's awesome. Bad Jimmy.
I just want to be able to like harvest something. You keep on
my
eating
God.
them. Oh
Well,
man.
apparently Ben says one time they found a large creep raccoon knickknack that we named
Yeah.
Fat Jimmy and hid in your bed once.
That's very true. There's like this
What?
ceramic raccoon
Oh my
that
gosh.
may still exist somewhere.
That's
And
amazing.
they did. Ben
Yeah.
found it at a thrift store or on the side of the road or something,
Right.
and like hid it in my bed. Fat Jimmy.
Lena asks, should I do science or French?
Oh, for school classes.
Yeah,
For
for
school.
school.
Oh.
I say oui.
Yeah, do your French. I would say do your French.
Yeah. Do your science in French.
We
Whoa.
Oui.
both.
Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
say science in French?
Science.
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 Science. Sounds like a cool name.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
My science.
Ma science.
Why French? Lena's asking why French. I think it's because unless you're doing more French, then this is probably your last year doing French, so just get it over with.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing more French.
Oui. Oui.
And science you can do like in a lab.
Yeah.
Like there's some lab stuff you can do. I don't know, science seems more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, start with something that start with the harder thing and then go with the fun thing.
What if I want to do neither?
Then tell us what your favorite hobby is.
Yeah, what's your
Yeah,
favorite
Yeah.
hobby?
Let's not think about it right now. It's almost
Tell us
summer.
what your favorite hobby is.
Exactly.
Put it off.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Is doing homework your hobby?
Maybe it should be.
Maybe.
That's not the world's most fun hobby,
Yes.
but
Ben says you should do French because learning a language unlocks huge doors, and he wish he did more of it.
well, there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll have to do a show where we talk about. I think I kind of pitch this idea usually, but where we talk about school, schooling,
Cool.
Oh,
I
boy.
like it. I like
school
it.
stories.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I'm actually excited for tomorrow's episode.
Oh.
Because tomorrow we're gonna be watching.
Yeah, we're doing a really unique episode
Yeah.
where we're gonna be watching
Commercials.
and reacting to commercials.
Yes. Yeah,
So we're all gonna bring
You're
commercials.
gonna submit commercials. You're
Yeah, you
gonna bring
can
commercials.
submit commercials to us,
Yeah.
and we'll watch them and we'll react to them.
Yeah.
Like funny commercials.
It could be anything.
It could be
Okay,
funny.
okay.
It could be bad commercial. I have this. Oh man, I have this commercial.
I have a lot of good commercials.
That is creepy. It is. Oh no, I don't know if we should watch it or not. I don't want us to, but also I'm like I don't want to traumatize you guys, so we're gonna watch it.
We're gonna watch it.
We're gonna watch it.
All right.
Yeah, it's submitted already. I have the link. It's done. Sent.
All right.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Lena says I don't have a favorite hobby. It doesn't have to be your favorite one.
You know, now is actually a great time
To start a
to
hobby.
start a hobby, to get
True.
into a hobby, to start something, to try something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Try cross-stitching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try
Start a
cross-stitching.
cross-
Start a
Cross-stitching
puzzle.
With me.
You know, you can try origami.
Ooh, origami's nice.
But like really elaborate. It can get really elaborate. You know what's something really interesting? Is I wonder those people who balance rocks. You ever seen that?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Crazy, like they'll have like little rocks and they'll just balance them like super high, just like one on top of another.
Yeah, I've never seen
It's
that
so
in my
interesting.
life. Wow.
I saw the CNE ones.
Yeah, it requires a lot of patience.
Yeah.
I bet.
It requires so much
interesting.
patience.
They build like a tower of rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
a tower,
it's-
like
yeah.
as tall as
Yeah.
this.
And it's
Wow.
not
It's
like
just straight up.
glued together or anything.
No,
They're
It's
just
just
like
like-
balanced
Yeah,
on
they
each
just have
other.
to balance it. They gotta find the perfect spot
Yeah.
where it like makes it balance.
Yeah, but it is possible.
Yeah.
That sounds like a new hobby for Ben to learn.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Ben and I will get into that.
Yeah, definitely. The rock balancing.
Yes.
Yes.
Hobby.
Yeah, you know what you need for that? Science.
Physics. You know what you need for that? French.
Definitely need French.
Yeah, that way when
Some
you're
rocks,
done,
some
you can
rocks
be
are
like,
not bilingual.
Some
Yeah.
rocks are not
How do you say? Look at my stack of rocks in French.
Regardez-moi.
Yeah. There we go. Once you finish.
Let's just say regardez. That's simpler. That means look.
Yeah.
Regardez.
Look at my French. Look at my pile of rocks that are perfectly balanced. Ben says underrated hobby: consuming large amounts of fruit. And he says his friend Bruce Narbitz is actually a rock balance master.
Can I just say that's not a hobby? It's a lifestyle.
It's not a
lifestyle. Ben, one time we were watching something and had a bowl of like cantaloupe. It was like a whole cantaloupe that was cut up, and it was put down, and then it was gone. And Ben had like eaten the whole thing.
Yes.
And somehow Ash and I had like a piece or two each, and then like all of a sudden the rest of the cantaloupe just disappeared. I think he was just mindlessly consuming it.
That's so funny.
But yeah, now we say like, oh, you went all cantaloupe on that, like pizza. Like if you ate all the pizza, it's like, oh, Ben, you went like all cantaloupe on that.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Yeah. Another hobby of mine that I should probably talk about is what's called tabletop role-playing games.
Nice.
Or like D&D basically.
Nice.
Where we just gather like a group of people and we play like this game where we sort of it's kind of like a adult version of like imagination, right? Like dress up, things like that. Well, you don't have to dress up, but like some people do. But I love it. There's like rules and you fight monsters and you go on adventures. And there's like a storyteller or like a DM who kind of like guides you through the story. And it's really interactive, right? So I love doing that with a lot of friends. I've done that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Olivia says, hey, just got here, catch last bit. We're talking about hobbies. We're talking about all sorts of different hobbies.
Yeah, what are your hobbies?
Tell us what your hobby is.
I saw her like making bubble tea. Is that a new hobby?
Yes.
Yeah,
that looked amazing. You did it. She showed me this video. And it's somebody like I don't know if she did this, but they made their own tapioca pearls. They made like the tea. And so, yeah, I saw a picture of her and George, or George with the tea, the finished product. So yeah, it looked like it turned out really great.
Tea or something.
Yeah, it looked like it turned out awesome.
Yeah, I think one cool thing about the different hobbies is that sometimes when you have a hobby, sometimes it's creating things, and when you create things, it's so satisfying.
True.
Yeah, because you have that like the end goal, right? The end product, and I think that's something that is crucial at this moment as well. Yeah. So
definitely.
Olivia says, "Oh yeah, when this whole quarantine is done, I'll make you guys bubble tea. No need cha time anymore." Whoa!
I don't know.
That's a big bar.
That's large amount.
Wow.
Just large amounts of free time.
No need cha time.
Yeah.
That's a big promise.
Yeah.
But
We'll see how it tastes first. It has to pass the taste test.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna mark it from like Do you like? Okay. All right. So for marking, do you want the numbers or the letters?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or do you want pass fail?
Yeah.
Which is an option. It's an option for a lot of students this semester, actually. A lot of students can be like, oh, I just want my grade to be like pass fail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, university students anyways that I work with. And
really?
Yeah, I think it's because things have been so disrupted. It's like hard to know what's fair. Like people have had all kinds of like, I don't know, unique situations, and some people haven't been, right? Like, I think it's actually good of universities that are doing that, because some people really have had to take care of themselves, their families, like put other things first in this season. And like switching to online is not as easy for everybody. Like there's been a lot of extra anxiety and stress. So and they're like a lot of universities are doing like a pass-fail thing. However, I think numbers are more precise. But there's always a number range, right? So like an A+ might be like a 95 to 100.
Yeah.
So the most precise way of grading is like a number, to say like you get an 84.72689.
Yeah. But then numbers are just numbers, and it like like the precision doesn't really mean much. Like
right. Well, it's a number out of 100.
Yeah.
You could get a percentage.
Yeah.
64%.
Yeah. I think I'm in the camp of I get it or I don't get it.
Right.
You're the
Pass,
pass.
fail.
That's yeah. No, not even pass or fail. It's either I get it or I don't get it.
Yeah, like on my driver's test.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't matter how much I pass by,
Yeah,
as long as I pass on my
Yeah.
driver's test.
Yeah.
Good thing.
Maybe the guy didn't tell me.
Good thing.
Am I a good
If I-
driver? Am I a bad driver? I just know that I have the license.
No comment.
Is taking the test a hobby now?
He's,
No.
he's a very
Oh,
good driver.
seriously.
He's a very good driver.
No.
No,
Taking
yeah.
the test
Full
is an
disclosure,
empty hobby.
Benson's actually a really good and safe driver.
Stay in school.
Yeah.
Stay in school.
Anyways. That's
Stay
the
in
whole
driver's
message.
ed.
That's the entire message of this. If you missed that,
Stay in
just the
school.
one takeaway is stay in school.
Stay in driving school.
Oh man, that's so funny. Stay in driving school.
Oh,
That too. That
Yeah.
too.
That's good.
yeah,
You guys have any other hobbies that you want to bring up, or you might be sort of interested in, like learning or starting?
You know,
There's
one
some
that
suggestions for people here.
sort of have done in the past, but like it requires a lot of equipment and stuff, is pottery.
Oh yes.
Oh.
So, yeah, making pottery is
Mhm.
so much fun. I never really got the feel for the wheel because it was just like a 12-week class. But I learned how to kind of hand build things, and I made actually this really big flower pot. And like a few other things like a mug and some
Yeah.
dishes. So again, a really creative process. And if I
Yeah.
had like the resources and the time and the place, then that'd probably be something I'd want to try to learn more or
Yeah.
like, get back into.
Building computers.
Oh
It's
yes.
something that I want to get into, except it's super expensive. So yeah, I built my own PC, and that was like a great learning experience and it's fun and yeah, and like I want to build more. It's just like I can't because it's literally like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I assume it's the kind of thing you can also sort of build though, right? Like piece by piece.
Yeah,
Like, sort of-
for sure. I know, but then I don't really need another like computer, right? Like I would just be building a
Well, you
computer.
can get people to build, get you to build their computers.
You know,
Yeah, build
that's
one to
true.
sell or
Yeah.
for someone else.
Yeah,
Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just build my own computer, piece by piece, and then sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a cool
Well,
thing
and
to do.
the parts are interchangeable, right? So you can kind of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if you got like a new motherboard, well,
Yeah.
maybe not motherboard, but
No,
like,
no. But I also,
graphics
but
card.
that's the thing is that I don't want to sell old parts, right? So I want to like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
grab
Okay,
the parts, sell, and then
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Someone might be looking for a computer that you just
Yeah.
gotta offer.
yeah, pretty much.
I think for me, one thing that I kind of want to get more into is during the normal week, like normal season, like we had that Tuesday like art class, and I worked on this drawing for Katie for Christmas. That took quite a while, but it was actually really fun and really rewarding.
It was beautiful. It's
When it
beautiful.
comes down to it, so I think getting like better at that, I think is like super fun and like kind of learning new techniques and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to get to a point where I can just like be pretty happy with what I draw, like in a timely manner, right? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, because I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big stumbling block for people. Is that like, cause like when I'm like, oh yeah, drawing, like my first thought is like, yeah, I'm not good at drawing, but like it's a skill that you learn.
Yeah.
It's not like, yeah, like there are like rare instances where people are born with like a natural talent for it, but you can learn how to draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I should. Yeah.
I know like even taking drawing classes,
Uh-huh.
like the ones that we offer, like
Yeah.
even things like looking at lines and like how flat or straight something is.
Yeah.
It's so much like I'm so much better at it now
Mm.
to be able to tell like if something is, let's say, as simple as like straight, right? If
Yeah.
one is straight or a distance,
Yeah.
right? That kind of translates into other things in life too.
Exactly.
But I think also that's where like doing a class, right, is also a great way to start a hobby or to start with somebody.
Mm.
So then you have someone like to go with. You guys are learning together. You guys are bonding,
Mm.
right? And then you have some motivation to go.
Yeah, for
keep
sure.
going. Yeah.
If only I can go to a class right now.
Dude, man, there's
Yeah.
Zoom classes.
It's true. A
Online
lot of like
classes.
master
That's true.
classes
Yeah, yeah.
apparently are super cheap or
Yeah,
free.
I'm super
I don't know.
interested in that masterclass thing that they have now.
Yeah.
I'm so interested in those courses.
Mm.
There's one with Gordon Ramsay on cooking. but
course.
take an online class, right? I think that
Yeah.
helps when there's an instructor who like
True.
will guide you through it, and you're not just kind of aimlessly like
For sure.
sort of trying to start.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Is there one online class or video or like way that you could learn to advance a hobby or learn a new hobby this week. That might be kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure. Well, guys, that's all the time we have for today on Lunch Attack. Thanks so much for joining us for lunch, for sharing some of your hobbies with us. We're really excited to share some of our hobbies with you.
Yeah, that was fun.
We're live. We're only live 3 days, three times this week, Tuesday to Thursday, because we have something for Good Friday planned. Tomorrow, our topic is commercial reactions.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun and hilarious. You can react to commercials with us as we watch them. It's gonna be awesome. Tell us some of your favorite commercials. And then Thursday, our unique topic is gonna be what would you do in a zombie apocalypse?
Nice.
It's gonna be hilarious to talk about.
That's gonna be fun.
That will be something.
Yeah.
For now, thanks so much for joining with us. We're glad you could be here. We love you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Have a great day.